Aloha! This is lesson 57 from A Course in Miracles with Hope Johnson. Today, let us review these ideas. Lesson 31. I am not the victim of the world I see. How can I be the victim of a world that can be completely undone if I so choose? My chains are loosened. I can drop them off merely by desiring to do so. The prison door is open. I can leave simply by walking out. Nothing holds me in this world. Only my wish to stay keeps me a prisoner. I would give up my insane wishes and walk into the sunlight at last. Lesson 32. I have invented the world I see. I made up the prison in which I see myself. All I need do is recognize this, and I am free. I have deluded myself into believing it is possible to imprison the Son of God. I was bitterly mistaken in this belief, which I no longer want. The Son of God must be forever free. He is as God created him, and not what I would make of him. He is where God would have him be, and not where I thought to hold him prisoner. Lesson 33. There is another way of looking at the world. Since the purpose of the world is not the one I ascribe to it, there must be another way of looking at it. I see everything upside down, and my thoughts are the opposite of truth. I see the world as a prison for God's Son. It must be, then, that the world is really a place where he can be set free. I would look upon the world as it is and see it as a place where the Son of God finds his freedom. I could see peace instead of this. Lesson 34. When I see the world as a place of freedom, I realize that it reflects the laws of God instead of the rules I made up for it to obey. I will understand that peace, not war, abides in it. And I will perceive that peace also abides in the hearts of all who will share this place with me. Lesson 35. My mind is part of God's. I am very holy. As I share the peace of the world with my brothers, I begin to understand that this peace comes from deep within myself. The world I look upon has taken on the light of my forgiveness and shines forgiveness back at me. In this light, I begin to see what my illusions about myself kept hidden. I begin to understand the holiness of all living things, including myself, and their oneness with me. This set speaks to me about bringing the vision into the world. Bringing the vision of Christ, you could say, into the world. I'm not a victim of the world I see. Recognizing that I'm not a victim of the world I see reminds me that I'm the one with the power of decision right now. I'm the one that chooses whether I will be a prisoner of what I think I see, or I'll relax beneath that and feel the comfort of God and the allowance of my vision for perfect peace, perfect harmony, perfect safety for all beings.
Mental concepts, that's the prison.
Yes.
That's what everybody's conditioned with.
Mm-hmm.
and then they hold on to that and pass it along as more conditioning for the new ones.
Right.
And that's what this is speaking to, is just getting out of that prison. Just, you can stop believing that at any time.
Right. Just stop believing I'm a victim of the world I see.
All it is you're conditioned with it, and then you believe it, and you make it real, and you project it for the next.
Well, the way to stop believing it, though, that's the thing. The way to stop believing it, this is what it's talking about, is using these concepts, because, like we established earlier, life is thought, right? So using these concepts to bring concepts that make it as if you're a victim of the world, because it's going to seem as if you're a victim of the world. It's going to seem as if people do things to you. But when you're willing to recognize that everything you perceive, even what other people seem to be doing to you, it's only reflecting your own self-concept, that's where these things start to come into play. And I've seen so much in my experience, reflections, like it's talking about down here, lesson 35, the reflections of the forgiveness shining back at me. And I noticed that kind of early on as I was studying A Course in Miracles, and I perceived that my husband was doing something to me, like he was expecting me to be productive. And I realized that was coming from my state of mind, and I just said something that basically let me off the hook for being as unproductive as I may seem, and he reflected back that same forgiveness back to me. I saw it in his eyes. It just like sparked in his eyes. That's how it looks when you're using other people. And this is what's going on. This is our prison. We use other people, supposed other people, to reflect back to us the imprisonment that we made for ourselves. And then the ego reaction is to just naturally blame the person for doing that to you. So as I see that, especially in my relationship with my husband, Tony, it continues to show me different ways that I imprison myself and project it onto him as if he's doing something to me. But just by letting him completely off the hook for it, which, has been a process depending on which certain hook it is. Some hooks seem like they're more hooky than others. But just by applying that, it helps me to see and be released from my own imprisonment, my own concepts that I've held dear, that I've held up as idols, and having his reflection helps me to see it, so I can be released from it within myself, and then in that I see it reflected back to me, and it's so lovely. We have such a sweet connection through that.
Better and better.
Gets better and better, yeah. And, my mind is part of God's. I am very holy. Keeping it like that, people will reflect back to you because of your own programming. Again, people will reflect back to you that your mind isn't part of God's, like maybe something you do, some way that you act, some habits that you have, or anything like that would make it so that, see, your mind isn't part of God. That's the kind of reflection that we get, because we're holding these attacks, self-attacks, and we want to be released from them. That's why we get these reflections. So it's like, noticing that it's your own state of mind, you can be forgiving toward that. Always be forgiving toward the apparent other, because they are reflecting your mind, and that's the way you get released. Through your forgiveness, you could see that it's just you and make the decision to deny any meaning to it. That's all. You don't have to stop thinking it either. Even it comes back on its own. You just deny meaning to it again. I could see peace instead of this. I love this one. Just apply it to whatever it is that's on your mind. I could see peace instead of this.
I don't have to look at my concepts as if they're true.
Yep, I can go into the quiet and the way you get into the quiet is by using these concepts. When you're in a whirlwind of concepts of the ego, it's not quiet. Notice that it's circulating fast. It's spinning around. The thoughts of the spirit are more quiet in that they're calm. They don't have to be so quiet as in, you can't hear them. You can hear them fine when you're not into pursuing the ego thoughts. But these thoughts that are given to you through A Course in Miracles, especially this one, I could see peace instead of this. I just love this one. Can be applied to any thought. It's like, there is another way of looking at the world.
Basically, every these thoughts that are kind of like conditioned decisions that are continual that come up, you just question them.
Yes.
Go, what is that concept about? Why should I do that? Because I've always done it in the past. Why do I need to continue that?
Right. Continuing these patterns.
Yeah.
Yay! We love you. I see everything upside down, and my thoughts are the opposite of the truth. Yay! So good to know that. So we could just apply the truth to everything, bring everything to the truth. And be released in the moment. Be released of your imprisonment. These are like these shackles we put on each other. We're gripping to thought. They seem to go in layers, and you just get more and more positive that it's working as you see the benefits reflected back to you. And that could take time too. Some of them don't show themselves for a while, but just bringing your thoughts to your thoughts, ego thoughts, to these thoughts that are meant to release you will release you. And you'll see that in time. If you haven't yet, keep the faith. Keep going. Yay. We love you. Ahui ho.